Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. So we have the head of state receives the chief of the United States Command for AFRICOM. Technology at the services of precision agriculture. For the international scene in Pakistan, the country saw its worst submerged through the attacks of the territory submerged. Welcome to our newsroom. President Gele receives the new chief of the United States Africa Command, AFRICOM. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Gele, received late Wednesday morning at the Palace of the Republic the new chief of the United States Africa Command, AFRICOM, General Michael Langley, in Djibouti as part of towers of the countries in the region. This audience served as a first contact between President Gele and the new chief of AFRICOM. It then served as an opportunity to discuss the excellent relations that the two nations maintain in all areas of cooperation, especially in the specific file of defense and security. The choice of Djibouti to host continuously for 20 years now the only American base in Africa is the perfect illustration of the privileged links between our country and the United States on the military level. The sustained collaboration is that the two parties maintain around the process aimed at increasing the level of pacification, security and stabilization of the region. Also count as a strategic partnership between the two countries in the field of defense. During his visit to the President of the Republic, General Michael Langley, was accompanied by a high-ranking military delegation from his country. The ambassador of the United States of America to the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Jonathan Pratt, also took part in this audience. On the Djiboutian side, in addition to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, the Chief of the Defense Staff, General Tahir Ali Mohammed, and the Head of the National Security, Mr. Hassan Saeed Khairi, participate in this meeting. Now listen to General Michael Langley, Chief of the United States Africa Command.
So, how we can build security and stability between our relations between the United States and the Djiboutians. I commended him on the contributions of his nation exporting security across the region, especially with 25% of his defense forces helping Somalia to ensure that they reach security and stability in their country.
For his part, the head of the Djibouti diplomacy, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, said that Djibouti and United States are very important partners in the fight against terrorism and security. He found it natural to come and visit President Gele to introduce himself to him and explain his vision. The vision is of the U.S. On how to deal with security issue and especially terrorism in the Horn of Africa and on the African continent in general. The relationship between the United States and Djibouti are excellent. Believe that Camp Lemonnier and the American military among us are showing useful work in the fight against terrorism, piracy. It is a partnership that lasts 20 years, and President Gele has reiterated Djibouti's readiness to continue to consolidate relations between the United States and Djibouti. I believe that it is a win-win partnership, and we are happy to have the presence of General Langley among us, who is currently towering in the region. I believe that the role of the United States is very important in the stability and security of the main maritime routes that pass in front of us. Also to ensure that the states of the Horn of Africa that are cautious with the terrorism and the ability to fight against this phenomenon is a little overall the objectives of the mission is of General Langley. The message of solidarity and compassion from the President of the Republic to his Pakistani counterpart, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, in a message addressed this Wednesday to his Pakistani counterpart, Mr. Arif Alvi, expressed his compassion and solidarity with the brotherly people of Pakistan and continuous blow of several months of highly damaging natural disasters, sources of a number of victims now amounting the disaster resource of numbers of victims now amounting to about 1,200 people, in addition to having destroyed entire swaths of agricultural land as well as other infrastructure vital to the economy. That country, the peoples and the government join me in expressing their sympathy and compassion to the sister nation of Pakistan in the terrible ordeal of this tragedy. President Guelleh wrote in the telegram sent to his counterpart Arif Alvi, wish for a prompt end to the unbearable tragedy that has befallen the sister nation of Pakistan. He continued relaying his faith in Pakistan's ability to quickly overcome the painful and multifaceted consequences caused by the devastating floods. In Pakistan, countries experienced its worst flood. A third of the territory submerged. The devastating floods that have hit Pakistan since the beginning of June are the worst in the countries. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif announced on Tuesday torrential rain, which follow a drought and unprecedented heat waves, show the vulnerability of the country to climate change. One-third of Pakistan is underwater, from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province in the Himalayan foothills to the arid regions of Balochistan and Sindh in the south of the country. Torrential rain have caused rivers to overflow their banks, destroyed houses, roads, and bridges, and forced thousands of people to flee their homes. According to the authorities, the last death tolls on Tuesday, 13 August, was 1,136 people killed since the beginning of the monsoons in June, and 23 million affected by this bad weather. That is to say, one Pakistani in 7. A fire broke out this afternoon in a warehouse in the old port of Djibouti. The fire started in a warehouse where oil is stored. They immediately warned the elements of the civil protections intervened to contain the fire before the fire phases of the ravages. Fortunately, the fire has not reached the warehouse. No human loss was deplored. The causes of the fire, which completely covered the port area in thick smoke, are unknown, but an investigation has been opened to determine the circumstances of the fire. The director of the ports of Djibouti, the commanders of the port, went to the site of the fires to assess the damages. A novelty that will undoubtedly delight, but especially bring a very valuable help to farmers. Indeed, new technologies such as agricultural drones and seeding drones are used to facilitate a difficult task previously performed manually and generate significant time saving initiated by the government to effectively combat desertification and climate change. The Ministry of Agriculture has acquired 2 seeders drones, which are agricultural drones capable of sowing a very large quantity of seeds automatically. The recent rains that have largely drenched the entire national territory have proved beneficial, and so the Ministry of Agriculture has flown drones for the seeding of the Djibouti-Turkey Friendship Dam and the Kurtimale Dam located in the Grand Bara, as well as the Auda Plain in the sub-prefectures of Dora, a refuge area for transhuman livestock. It is clear that the drone used by the Ministry of Agriculture has flown over several hectares, and thus realized the seeding of the Acacia nilotica on 15 hectares in the Kurtimale and 40 hectares in Ot'ai. In the sub-prefectures of Dorra, also an Auda is still in the sub-prefectures of Dorra, the drone has carried out the seeding of an area of 100 hectares. Today, professionals in photographic, cinemas, and constructionists are no longer the only ones using new technologies to benefit their activities. It should be noted that that agriculture is not left behind, and these tools add to a considerable advance of new technology in the field of agriculture, which does not cease to make a step forward for the best. Djibouti participated in the MENA Renewable Energy Exhibition in Cairo for 2 days, August 28-29. Nearly 4,000 participants exchanged on the dozen topics related to the promotions of investment, technology, and innovations in the renewable energy sector at the second editions of the MENA Renewable Energy Exhibitions at the International Exhibition Center in Cairo, Egypt. A large delegation led by the Minister of Energy in charge of natural resources, Yunus Ali Gedi, took part in the work of the second editions of the Exhibition of Renewable Energy of MENA countries 2022, which took place from 28 to 29 August 2022 in the Egyptian capital. Indeed, the minister, accompanied by the ambassador of Djibouti in Cairo, Mr. Ahmed Ali Barre, his chief technical advisor, Mr. Umar Ahmed, the one in charge of the Arab World, Abbas Adens, and the Director General of the International Company of Hydrocarbons of Djibouti, Mr. Dabar Adawi, participate in fact in this event that brings together the countries of the Middle East and North Africa. The finals of the 2022 Summer Activity Tournament of the Traditional Games, the Community Development Center of Dekhel hosted yesterday morning, Tuesday, August 13, 2022, the finals of the Tournament of Traditional Games, which is part of the summer activity launched a few weeks ago by the Minister of Youth and Culture, Her Excellency Dr. Hibo Mumin Asowe, chaired by the regional subdirectors Mohammed Omar Witi. The competition brought together several young people from different localities in the regions of Dekhel, and it was honored by the presence of many representatives of the regions of Dekhel, namely in the first place Mr. Aden Drar Musa, prefect of Dekhel regions, and Mr. Ibrahim Guru Abdallah, vice president and acting president of the regional council, Mr. Akadar regional directors of Dekhel of the ONIAD, also not the presence of the traditional and religious authority of the regions of Dekhel. The work of coordination and consultation meeting for the improvement of living conditions of the inhabitants of the city of Djibouti continues. It is this morning in the meeting room of the city hall that the work of this consultation meeting was chaired by the mayor of the city of Djibouti, Said Dawood Muhammad, and have also brought together the actors of the life of the populations, including local elected officials, members of the neighborhood councils, leaders of the voluntary sector. In addition to local elected officials, this coordination meeting also brought together around the same tables representatives of different departments and services, namely the OVD, ONIA, Civil Protections, and ADIR, the National Police and Gendarmerie. Several issues were on the agenda of this meeting, namely insalubrity, illegal garage, sewage in the neighborhoods, rehabilitation of roads after heavy rain, the fight against juvenile delinquency, the proliferation of the fires, and lack of awareness of these scourges, and other important points for the development of the municipality. During this meeting, the mayor bring a more adequate follow-up to the need of the community. The sub-prefecture of the first district, in collaboration with the commune of Bulaus, organized this morning an important meeting concerning the fight against drugs in the premises of the sub-prefecture of the first district. This meeting was chaired by the sub-prefect of the first district, Mr. Abdi Hassan, the acting president of the commune of Bulaus, Mr. Ali Addawa, the honorable parliamentarian of the constituency of the vice narcotics, the gendarmerie, local elected officials, the leaders of the various districts, and the constituency of the first district. The objective of this meeting is to fight against the consumption of drug products among young people in some neighborhoods in the commune of Bulaus, and ended with the participation of everyone to put an end to this scourge that is growing in our society. As part of the preparations for the start of the 2022 school years, the regions of Dakhil has mobilized to allow students of different educational cycles to find a clean and attractive school environment. It is in this perspective that the civil and military forces, with the prefect of the region, Adendrar Musa, and acting president Guru Abdullah, have all rolled up their sleeves to participate alongside the educational body in cleaning school. All the establishments of the bases, the colleges and high schools were cleaned to welcome the people in a favorable condition to learning. Our thanks to the armed forces, the different security forces, police, gendarmerie and firefighters who spared no effort to give their help to guarantee a healthy start to the school year. So to guarantee a healthy school environment is to guarantee success. For the international scene, the last president of the USSR, Mikhail Gorbachev, has died. The former Soviet president and last leaders of the USSR, Mikhail Gorbachev, died at the age of 91 after a long and serious illness. The Central Clinical Hospital of the Kremlin announced in the evening of August 13 the death of Mikhail Gorbachev, the last leaders of the USSR, at the age of 91 years after a long and serious illness. He should be buried in the Novodevich Cemetery in Moscow next to his wife, who died in 1999, quoted by the RA Novosti agency. The Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that the Russian President Vladimir Putin expressed his deep condolence. Arrived at the head of the USSR in 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev launched the economic reforms known as perestroika, reconstructionist in Russian, to modernize the country. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.